The silent universe. To begin, consider that space is inherently silent. All of us are familiar with the sensation of lying in bed late at night when the eerie silence seems to overwhelm and magnify every sense, feeling like we're being watched because of our light. The same analogy holds true for everything else in the universe. We live on a planet that is just one of an infinite number of stars, galaxies, and universes that, depending on your worldview, are overseen by a being or beings far more advanced and powerful than ourselves. Whether one believes in God, an alien intelligence, or nothing more than the divine concept of not being alone, experiences like silence and meditation can fill one with feelings of gratitude and optimism. Some people, however, have never experienced fear and anxiety on such a grand scale. Due to the fact that sound cannot travel through what is technically known as a vacuum, scientists and astronomers have come to the conclusion that space is, in fact, silent. By atmospheric field, we mean the area beyond Earth's atmosphere, where there is no longer any material to be found. That is to say, no place or noise. The scientific explanation for this is that sound is an energy wave. Sound waves are a type of mechanical wave that can move energy through a medium made of particles and change it into different forms. These particles cause the energy to echo or reverberate from where it came from, through the medium, and back to where it came from. As the energy goes away, the particles that are made become less powerful because these are less opaque, and the sound either fades away or doesn't get through. Space, as we have learned, is a huge vacuum because of the enormous infinite area in which it resides. As a result, it is too large to collect such forms of energy, and so the transmission and reception of individual sounds depends on the particles. There is no place in the universe where noise can be heard, but this is obviously not true. Dust clouds and gas clusters in space have been caught on camera as they form. These are released from extinct stars and can produce noise when they become dense enough. In 2003, the Chandra X-ray Observatory recorded the first naturally occurring energy-formed sound in space from the Perseus galaxy, which is more than 250 million light-years away. Though the sound was too faint for human ears to pick up, it was verified that something had made its way through space. The question then becomes, what else can sound bring to light if it can come to life autonomously, without human intervention? I suppose one should try not to be too terrified of space itself. Even if you screamed, no one would hear you. Jupiter, the monster planet. Set aside the many and fast-moving comets for a moment and consider something a little more still, if not exactly small. We must be very afraid of Jupiter, the fourth brightest object in our solar system. Jupiter is a gigantic planet. Its size becomes clearer when we examine the numerous details and steps involved. Jupiter is calculated to be 318 times larger than Earth and about 2.5 times larger than all the other planets in the solar system put together in terms of diameter. That's a lot for a planet that's invisible to the naked eye and only visible in the night sky with standard equipment. When compared to other planets, only Venus shines brighter. One of the most interesting things about Jupiter's size and scale is the mind-boggling discovery that if it got any bigger, it would actually get smaller. Adding more mass to a planet that already has a lot of mass would make it dense and cause it to collapse in on itself. Odd, but it's dead on. Once more, in an effort to fathom the gas giant's vastness and enormity, we also need to investigate and comprehend its velocity. With incredible breakthroughs being made every day by organizations like NASA, the future looks bright. Calculations show that Jupiter spins on its own axis at a blistering 12.6 kilometers per second, taking less than half a day to complete a full rotation. It's worth noting that the planet's 3.13-degree axial tilt means that it doesn't actually experience seasons. We can't get too close to Jupiter because of all the harmful radiation in the area. There are currently 53 named moons orbiting it, with another 26 to be added in the future, and it is surrounded by Saturn-like rings that are barely visible. Among these moons, Ganymede is the largest at 5,268 kilometers in diameter. This makes it larger than Mercury and its immediate neighbors in the solar system. The title, King of Planets, is not given without good reason. Jupiter's true ferocity becomes clear upon closer inspection. Large red dots can be seen all over its surface, leading scientists to conclude that a violent storm has been raging there for at least 350 years. There is now a name for the fifth planet from the Sun, a planet eater. What you just heard is correct. Research from the field of science that was published in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics suggests that Jupiter's core is made up of pieces of planets that no longer exist. The paper and images from NASA's Juno space probe suggest that Jupiter's huge size and big appetite are caused by the fact that it eats small planets called planetesimals that are close by. The fact that Earth is the third planet from the Sun doesn't inspire much hope in the minds of many people who worry that our planet, as we know it, might be next on the menu for the so-called vacuum cleaner of the solar system if there were ever to be a shift in the Milky Way. Maybe she won't get hungry for a while. Invisible asteroids. From what has been described so far, it would appear that everything is under control, at least according to NASA and the scientists and experts behind the cutting-edge satellite and telescopic calculations. Though we're not quite at the end of these creepy facts, or in this case, speculations, it appears that there are things about our tiny planet that we don't know or that we can't see. Though we're not quite at the end of these creepy facts, or in this case, speculations, it appears that there are things about our tiny planet that we don't know or that we can't see. The GS Space Observatory, which has been measuring the positions, motions, and distances of stars since its launch in 2013, made a truly terrifying discovery earlier this year. When the spacecraft is done with its missions, which is expected to be in 2025, we may have just enough information to stop a terrible end. The satellites, calculations, and documentation of the stars reveal that there are thousands upon thousands of previously unknown asteroids in our solar system. A great number of meteors, comets, space debris, rocks, and other such things are constantly moving through the enormous expanse of space, as is well known. Some of them are simple to recognize, whereas others are, shall we say, more alien in appearance. Alien life, UFOs, and other paranormal phenomenon are intriguing ideas, but they are best left for another time and place. Astronomers and astrophysicists are honest when they tell us that a single asteroid, whether it is known or unknown, has the potential to crash into Earth and wipe everything and everyone off its shores, just like the dinosaurs did 66 million years ago. The current count of these invisible asteroids is more than 150,010 times higher than was ever predicted or recorded by scientists within the proximity of Earth's atmosphere. Reading through all of those numbers and hypothetical situations is terrifying. In the best-case scenario, even a relatively minor physical impact would cause a widespread power outage and internet apocalypse that could last for months or even years. Some of our younger viewers would experience extreme anxiety, fear, and devastation if they were suddenly cut off from their mobile phone or the internet for even a few minutes. In light of this, we might have to endure not only a devastating shockwave, but also the non-stop whining of our children. Scientists also estimate that the likelihood of a large asteroid shower or solar storm striking Earth's surface is between 1.6 and 12% per decade. To survive an asteroid strike, we can either try to carry on as usual without access to the grid or the ability to grow food, or we can take a wild guess as to when it will happen. I think you'll agree, there isn't much of a choice here. When we consider the infinite variety of planets and galaxies out there, it becomes clear that we have only scratched the surface of what awaits us in the cosmos. The immediate threat comes from pollution and natural disasters that contribute to global warming. The real danger, however, lies in the wonderful, spectacular expanse of space, and we must learn to live together in a world that is so tiny and insignificant in comparison to the rest of the universe. That concludes Just Gotta Watch's today's episode. Thanks for watching.